All right, we will open the meeting of the Ordinance Committee October 1st at 5 p.m. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. No adjustments to the agenda, correct, Marty? Okay. Public to speak on a non-agenda item. And review of the minutes. I wasn't here.
I move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second. Motion by Scott, second by Val. Any discussion? Nope. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Okay. Correspondence. We've been provided some correspondence. We requested, as you may recall at the last meeting, we requested Linda to reach out and get some clarification language. She was gracious enough to do that. So we have that feedback from Dan Oakley with Policy and Destination Senior Manager, Dark Sky International. And having that correspondence, since we're not going to read the extensive email into record, if anybody's looking for it, it is available, just request it. We'll roll right into our continuing business and the lighting dark sky compliance 3882.
And if I'm correct, we really only had one outstanding issue. That was 0.2 about current existing, that was the wording. I think everything else we had accepted or moved on. Is that correct?
That is my understanding. And then there was, yes, so as far as amendments to what's in front of us, that is correct, Scott. I don't want to cloud the.
No, I'm just.
Then we'll address the
Right.
information that was provided, but.
Right.
Marty graciously provided us with information offering the definition of existing refers to something that has been, that has being or present, emphasizes its presence or operation at the present time.
Now, my understanding is the word currently, presently in our ordinance, I use is current. It says current.
Which is incorrect. I mean, in the grand scheme of an ordinance, current is incorrect.
It's much too flexible.
Right, because current is today, but if you change it tomorrow it's still current because it's the day of.
Right.
Whereas existing is what exists as it is right now.
At the beginning of when we pass this thing.
Right.
Which in my mind raises the question of why that's it. To me, if we put existing in there, that makes us retroactive, and I'm not comfortable with that.
No, I don't think it makes us retroactive. It means existing as of the date of this.
I disagree. I read it and say, if this passes, anything that's existing, and existing means it currently exists,
Right.
has to now comply. So there's no grandfathering allowed with that word. So I'm not comfortable with that. I do not like that word existing because it is very hard and fast, as it should be, but I don't like the idea that we're making it retro. It could be interpreted that way as being retroactive. That's the issue I have with the word existing.
So you probably need to go on that one, because again, I really don't think that current is the correct language of what should be in an ordinance.
Well,
Okay, let's just.
it could be struck altogether and just say new and required retro. I mean, because what we're saying is we want to make sure anything new, anything that has to be retrofitted
Retrofitted.
complies with this ordinance.
What's required retrofit? Why do you have to require?
Well, if
Take out the word required. Just
Well,
say
let's
retro.
say if okay, I'm okay. Let's say required would be like, oh, I have to now replace it.
Right.
So yeah,
But
I see where you're going. Yeah, okay, just
I'm not requiring.
just muddies it if you're retrofitting or, you
If
know,
it's retrofitting, you need to
replacing whatever. That's what I would say. I'd be comfortable with said new,
retrofit.
replacement, retrofitting, whatever, you know, must meet this ordinance. I'd be like, fine, let's go, we're done. Just take out
Okay with
current and
that.
existing altogether.
Existing, what, yeah, current is.
I understand why current, I don't know how it got in there, but my motion would be to strike
Existing,
current, which is what's presently there, and not add existing, just
right.
strike that and make it
Get that.
new and if you want to take out the required new and retrofit lighting or new
Yeah.
and replacement must meet all lighting requirements of this section.
New.
So that is I did hear the word motion.
Well, a replacement and retrofit the same?
You want to say replacement?
So sorry, we have a motion on the table. If I can get a
Do we
second.
really yet? Or
Yeah.
we're clarifying?
Scott said my motion.
My
Okay.
motion would be to strike that current and existing, so it would say new and
I have down that Scott Wilson said, motioned to remove current, not include existing, remove the word required. So the new sentence would say, new and retrofit lighting must meet all lighting requirements in this section. That's the note I just took.
So
that would be correct.
Okay,
Is there any, okay, I understand. So now we're discussing. So is there
no,
any?
I need a second before
Second.
we can discuss.
Second.
Hey, motion by Scott, second by Val.
Okay, now we can discuss.
So retrofit, is there any way that retrofit needs to have replacement added? Or is that,
I don't know. I mean, that's, I suppose
I think retrofit.
someone could try
broader
to
than
parse this
replacement.
and, what we're trying to do is say, if you are, my intent is if you're putting new lighting in, or you have to replace, for some reason, you're replacing existing lighting, it has to meet this code. And whether you call that a retrofit.
Retrofit, because I think it includes like some sort of, fixing. If you really gotta fix it, you might as well make it right. As opposed to.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
I'm just,
Replacement,
no, the lawyers get hold of things and
I
they
know.
parse things 10 ways from Sunday, and next thing you know, you don't really know what it says anymore. It's,
I know. I like what you got.
Any additional discussion on the board?
So if we don't add existing, then anyone who is in violation of what we're proposing
Currently,
is not going to be required to bring their lighting up to what we are.
until they need to replace it for
Which
some.
may be 20 years.
Yes,
So there's no teeth.
No, there's no
our
teeth in that.
ordinance.
the lawyer said we could do it if we said that whole 5 year. He said that was okay. I
We could
remember,
do the 5 year, or we could do.
within 5 year
Or
or,
do the existing, which I think is.
well, existing means right now.
Right.
You have to fix, everybody has to fix it as of now. And I think that's a bit stiff.
that's a retroactive ordinance, and I'm
Right.
not comfortable with retroactive ordinances. Because someone in good faith came and followed the code, and now all of a sudden the code changes, and now they have to change, even though they, in good faith, did what the town was requiring at the time.
Right.
If we had an issue with light pollution, now it'd be one thing, but we don't currently. We want to keep it from becoming an issue, so we don't want to add any more going forward. But I don't see an issue with trying to change things currently for
Right.
light pollution.
I mean, the problems that I find the light pollution are really just, they're problems and they could be fixed if somebody just went out there and knocked on the door and said, you're in violation of the current thing. You've
Exactly.
been that way for a long time. You
Right.
can't have.
But they could turn around and say, we don't care, because there's, that's too
Mhm.
No,
bad.
but where it's always never supposed to just point it, in cut traffic's eyes and the neighbor's property, and that's something that could always be fixed. It doesn't need to be, that is not something that's
So I may have,
expensive to fix or not.
I recall I may have said something very similar at the last meeting. The majority of ordinances are not allowed to be retroactive.
Right.
The majority of land use ordinances are not allowed to be retroactive.
Right,
So I was quite shocked when they indicated that we could put in retroactive language. I was taken back by that. And for the same reason that Scott mentions it, because somebody in good faith came before this board, came before the powers that be and put in what they put in place in compliance at the time. And just because we're changing it because we want to hinder any further
Mhm.
light pollution, doesn't mean that those folks should be penalized for what's they. the word grandfather comes into play all the time across every ordinance we've got standing. So I don't see an issue with essentially creating grandfather properties. I mean, we're doing it again by not making it a retro ordinance.
I'm okay with it either way. I'm okay with 5 years. I'm okay with not having existing at all. Whatever.
Any other comments from here? Because Linda, I can see, would like to say. something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I agree with saying take existing out. But it also, I mean, dark sky would like, which got eliminated on a previous meeting, an amortization period where they would like to see lighting brought up to this standard. And they suggest 10 years. Now, the 5 years came from something else, but it could be a 10-year
I'm okay with 10 years, if that makes,
period
nothing lasts 10 years anyway. You're lucky if your lights last that.
for amortization, they call it.
Right.
But he says on the amortization, this is from the email I get from him. This can be a difficult requirement to include private lighting. What we expect is that the ordinance use the enforcement powers that it has the ability to use. If you do not have the authority to request that existing lighting change, then you cannot really be asked to adopt it. So I think that, you know, it would be nice if we could put an amortization period of 10 years.
But he's not, it won't hinder us from getting.
But it looks like,
certification.
well, you know, they have it in there that they want to see it. But then he's telling me, well, you know, we've come across situations where it can't be enforced.
Right.
So, I don't know.
And just as another sort of devil's advocate thing, people don't come and get permission to put in lights on their house. They just buy it and stick it up. So we're not gonna know that it's happening.
But if we don't have anything to go back to those people who do that and
Right.
are in violation and say,
Right.
you're in violation of the code, and they say, well, I put it up when it wasn't effective, when it wasn't in effect.
Well, even if they
Right.
did put it up when it is in effect, I mean, it's like, it's not like people come ask permission from the code
No.
enforcement to put up new lights. They just do it.
It only becomes a problem when it's a problem.
Right.
I get that. But if it is a problem, then you don't have any.
And if
recourse.
it has,
Nothing.
well, no, I mean.
We have
if it-
recourse on new.
If they're obviously new
If
lights,
they put it in tomorrow, and this is not adopted.
Right.
Until whenever.
never, or whatever, yeah.
And that problem, that case is I think you always have to imagine the worst and provide for it. And not to say that anybody's gonna come and put in a spotlight in your neighbor's house, but if you don't have anything on the books that say it's not allowed, then, and they point back to November 2025 and say, well, I put it in then, it was okay then. And we don't have any way to say, well, it's not okay now. And they said, you know.
Okay. So I'm going to, if there's no additional conversation, we do still have a motion and a second on the floor. For that particular, the applicability line. The amortization piece was something entirely different. That we got off on.
Well,
So
isn't that part of this?
not for this
Not that
sentence,
sentence,
not this
okay.
particular sentence that we're changing.
Okay,
Well, isn't that where it was taken off of?
That's where the previous vote removed that language. That language has not been brought back up. There's no motion to put it back. There's been nothing to that effect.
okay, so we
So
can
right
vote on
now, what
this,
is on the table
and then
is
we
this
can
motion in
change it.
second.
Okay,
So if there's no further discussion about that applicability line reading, new and retrofit lighting must meet all lighting requirements in this section. I will call for a vote.
You wanna take out the word required as well?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I thought I said that the first time. I apologize.
I missed that.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that is a 3-1.
Yeah,
That
Carol,
motion carries.
you can make it now a motion to add a sentence or add a phrase. About the retrofit or whatever, well, not retrofit, the,
Amortization.
that thing, yeah, 10-year, 5-year, whatever. You could add a sentence now.
So just to bring back up that subject at a previous meeting, there was a line in there about the 5-year piece that was voted to be removed, that was voted to be stricken.
Well, we
If it is the intent for someone to, or someone who wishes language similar to that to be put back in, that is certainly motion second, do what you gotta do there.
motion to put back in 10-year.
All right, do we have that old language?
Existing lighting not in compliance with this code shall be brought into compliance within 5 years, so.
Within 10 years, I'd change that.
And that was part of the applicability, correct?
Yes.
The
Correct.
point two, okay. So Vala's motion to put back in that with a 10-year. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Carolyn, any discussion?
I think the discussion is, they say if you can't do it, then you don't need to do it. But the lawyer has said we could do it. So I feel like we have to do it. Just saying.
No, and I certainly understand your position. I also understand Carolyn's. I think I've made mine clear. I don't like retroactive ordinances. And I believe this line makes it retro.
It does, definitely does. But all 10 years is a long time and
Within
it's just
20.
lighting.
Yep.
Not your whole building.
That's certainly, again, your position.
Mhm.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? It is a tie and the motion fails.
We tried. Okay. So now you can say we can't do it.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if we had a really major light pollution problem, I would agree, but we don't.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I just-
anyone that's gonna replace the light, might just voluntarily.
Well, I just feel like we went through the motions of trying. So
Mhm.
now we can say we can't do it.
Okay, now
We
to address the additional recommendations.
That was it for this, wasn't it? Or something, wasn't
A
it?
note for this, there was
String lighting
additional,
or something?
there was additional language that was recommended. Is that, did I interpret that correctly?
Yeah,
Something about task area versus,
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Somewhere.
well,
the task area is defined by the purpose of lighting. You can have quite a small area, which will make the point of overlighting policy a little redundant. And then, of course, the overlighting policy was something else that was,
So,
I thought he said something about the 5,000 somethings per acre. And doesn't it already have that in here?
if I understand correctly, overlighting is lighting an area bigger than where the task is taking place. Is that correct? I mean, that's my understanding when he talks about overlighting. Let's say I've got a 100 square foot area. And so I'm gonna light that area. But the light spills over, that's over, it goes into 150 square. That's how I understood overlighting.
Yeah, but who decides the task?
Well, I'm just saying, that's my understanding of, this is the area where it's happening, but your light takes up a bigger area. That's how I understood overlighting, but if we're trying to restrict the lumens, et cetera, I don't know where overlighting it. I think it's complicating things, you know, as we try to figure out, like you say, task.
To say
area.
overlighting is, it shouldn't spill onto neighboring properties.
I think we have that, don't we?
we
You
do.
have that? Okay.
But we've already covered some of those pieces is what I'm saying, is some of that's already.
And we know
We
here it
covered
is.
most of it. I think what came up at the last meeting, and I'm so sorry I didn't mean to interrupt anyone, but I just wanted to pull us back into what came up at the last meeting was Linda said that there may have been some recommendation for a table
That's right.
to be included. And my understanding was that table was related to overlighting.
That's right.
I may have misunderstood that. So if I did use,
No,
are we,
I do remember that conversation, but I don't have that data, so.
That's okay. I just don't want to, I don't want to miss any language. That I know you had some concerns at the last meeting, Linda, that there was some language that we had missed specifically for this overlighting piece.
Went back to Dan's memo of May 29th. Policy progress over. What we did on this, the latest email is referred to, let's see. Okay, this is the table.
There's something group of engineers, decided engineers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this basically, I think what it does is creates lighting zones,
Oh, yes, I saw that zone.
ambient light and moderate light. And the other zones is 2 other zones, but you know, those are for cities.
Okay. And then it almost seems like by his email, that given that we have, as the task areas is defined by the purpose of lighting.
Right, and you.
It would make the point of an overlighting policy a little redundant. So is he saying we don't need the overlighting policy language now?
That's kind of how.
Okay.
Well, he says that you're setting a lumen limit, you know, and that's what we've been
Right,
talking
we've been
about,
talking.
you know, so we're trying to limit the amount of lights
Right, and within
within this area, right?
Area.
Yeah.
And we also have, language that says, it's under the light shielding, you know, it's
Mhm.
gotta be directed away from other property.
Right, could it go down, it can't go above the horizontal, all
Right.
of that is already
Yes.
addressed.
So I feel like we have it within the
Perfect.
ordinance, but not in a specific paragraph that says no overlay.
Right,
Right.
which is
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Is
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
that
Well,
sense?
and that's how I.
It's what I kind of grasped. I showed up early. I've got check marks and X's and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I,
I think we're talking in round. I felt like, you know,
Yeah.
everybody should be here to do row,
Yeah.
vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I think it's covered, in my
Okay,
opinion. Okay.
There's some red on one of the pages about the string lights, festoon lights on that letter. I don't know if that was from you or from him, but
Well, I asked him,
you asked about that and his,
Mhm.
you know,
yeah, and, he said it's probably not a bad idea, basically. Because mini string lights are very different than festoon light. You know, like, people put those light bulbs, round light bulbs in trees and light up.
oh, that's different, okay,
That's not mini string lighting, I mean,
okay,
those things are round bulbs, they're.
okay.
Sometimes bigger than a golf ball and smaller.
yeah.
So, anyway, I think I added. Oh, I put in the, okay,
Yeah, the red thing that says no festoon or string lights can be more than 50 lumens and the density of string no greater than 25 lumens per foot.
right,
Okay,
Where-
that's fine with me, but it just
Where
means,
were you recommending that, Lynn? That's what I'm trying to see, because I see a 0.3, but
I think I found it. The second point,
the second one, so your light shield.
the one under specific standards. So you've got 0.3
Yeah.
specific standards, then you've got 0.3 light shielding under specific standards.
Okay.
And it looks like there's where we can put them.
3.35, okay. I
Okay.
see. All right.
right, I think that's where it should go.
Well, here we go. 1, 2, 3, then you have 0.1 under 0.2, 0.2 under 0.3, 0.3 under 0.3, and then it would be over here, so category 5. I know, it's like,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, okay.
So just add that thing onto this V,
Yeah, and I.
and make it a V, okay,
Student library,
okay.
um.
Was that what his recommendation was? I'm just curious, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, I'm just trying to figure out what this means.
He said, he indicated that it would be a good thing,
Okay,
but my concern is, you know, those round bulbs that are bigger are not Christmas lights.
No.
no, I know what you mean, they're like a patio light, you put them out there.
Right,
In
Right.
places.
And a lot of them are solar lights that just go on at night and stay
Right.
on all night long.
Yeah, but at least they go off during the day anyway.
Right, yeah.
Well, actually, no.
No.
I want the other way
We
around.
want it the other way around, but they want them on their patio, that's the whole point of the.
so I do like the limits on this, I don't think it's excessive, I think it's, because they're supposed to be, the ideas are supposed to
Right.
be just not a lot of lighting.
Like mood
Yeah,
lighting,
supposed to be
basically.
you know, marking a perimeter or whatever, as opposed to providing light.
Right.
So did we have a motion to add that?
I motion to add that thing that's in red, yes.
Okay, that is Val's motion to include the language from the email to add 0.35 under 0.3.
And make
Three.
it 5.
Yeah.
0.33,
You got it.
yes,
And that's it.
sounds like the never-ending decimal terminating.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Carolyn. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
I don't see a problem. So,
That is unanimous. Okay. Any other sections? In
I think that handled
Yeah,
it,
well,
right?
other things, you know, related to that email. He suggested our light, shielded lights, definition in, 0.3 under specific standards, 0.31. The B fully shielded with the 15 degrees below horizontal. He mentioned a couple of times, he said that's gonna be hard to do. And he,
We just talked about not having it
Just
exceed
saying
above
nothing above the
horizontal.
horizontal, take out the 15 degrees.
take out the well, this is the language he told me to look at. An ordinance from Springdale, Utah, which I did, and,
Yeah,
so anyway, I think we could change that whole. Paragraph. To all outdoor lighting shall include fully shielded fixtures and shall be installed so light is directed downward with no light emitted above a horizontal plane extending out from the bottom of any light fixture. So it just, you know, just goes.
Nothing goes up, it goes down.
Right. And, you know, that
probably
language that's in this ordinance.
a lot easier to measure.
Right, it's our.
Right, exactly.
15 degrees below the horizontal. It's kinda-
Well,
Yeah,
17 degrees.
right,
So anyway. So if we replace that, then that kind of cleans that up.
And that
okay,
38.823.1.
yes.
Sorry, 0.3.31.
Another one of those 3.
Forgot one of those threes.
So it'd say be fully shielded, meaning so that no light rays are emitted above the horizontal, take out at angles above 15 degrees. Are emitted by the installed fixtures.
Yeah.
Just trying to get a handle on this. Above, so take out at angles.
To say all light rays are emitted below the horizontal. Rather than
No light rays are emitted above,
Above.
all light rays are emitted below.
below, so which
You
one,
want to
yeah,
put as a positive or negative.
I know,
So I'm just gonna throw this out
Mhm.
here. In the interest of not convoluting things for poor Marty, who's going to have to turn around and put this into some kind of language. How comfortable were we with the recommended language that she pulled from?
that would be fine.
I'm fine with that. I was just trying to get a.
So can we
handle
make a
on what-
motion to
Take that language.
use that language that was recommended,
Yes.
and then you get that language.
I made your copy. I had a feeling.
Thank you.
I am so sorry, guys. I just know that.
No, that's.
That's fine.
I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna watch the video.
I kind of saw it. I went, there you go.
Okay.
Okay, so does someone want to make that motion?
Well, I would make a motion that we take the language that Linda has provided and replace 38.8.2 .3 with that language.
Second.
Yep, perfect. Motion by Carolyn, second by Val. Any further discussion? All those in favor? That is unanimous.
Okay.
That actually makes it less stringent, so that's.
Okay.
easier.
Okay.
Yep. Any other recommended language that you pulled from the communication?
I think we should have some definitions. Like most ordinances do, and what I did is went through all the things that were, referred to in our ordinance and used the definition in this publication.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not gonna read it all, but it includes accent or architectural lighting, although you don't really refer to that here. Why don't I just, do you want to look this up?
I think we need copies of that.
Yeah,
Is
So-
this, wait a minute, did you already provide us with this?
so there's a recommendation that
Hold on, I thought I saw something.
we added this definition section.
Definitions of lighting.
I sent you a horrendous email just before I did.
No, that's okay. I was,
I apologize.
the format looks similar.
Yeah, that's it.
Right there, isn't it?
But I did add the definition of spring light or festoon lighting in there too, so.
So this was your memo to the ordinance committee that was in the email we got.
Right,
And the definitions, the recommended definitions was in fact in there.
yeah,
This time?
Yep.
but I
It
also
wasn't in the
added
packet,
the
I got
spring festoon lighting just put in there.
When did that email?
I didn't,
That's in September 8th.
oh,
Yep. Yeah, September 8th.
I didn't
Sorry,
get that one, because I don't have anything that's got a picture on the back, so that's why I'm sure I didn't. get that.
Okay, but this is updated.
That's updated.
Okay,
So if you want.
Marty, is there any way we can get copies of this? Is it just the one page for definitions?
No, I think that there might have been one, two more that go on the other.
I don't see.
Page.
Oh, right there.
And we
Okay.
can go down the list there because I.
I'll be right back.
But-
Please, thank you.
Let me ask a question here. Una pregunta, por favor. This is part of 38.8, correct? And I know that the signs has definitions and that just got accepted by the community.
Right,
There's a sort of this vague memory back in my mind that we had some conversation about definitions and I could be misremembering, but it seems like we said, well, because it affects the 38.8 in a bigger piece. That's why I'm trying to figure out, well, because I thought we had some discussion about definitions and what issues it might create, putting them in, not putting them in. I think I like the idea of having them, but for some reason, there's something that's kind of running around the back of my brain that we had a conversation about it and said no, and I don't remember what it was, and it's maybe because it was part of a bigger piece, and I don't know, I could be misremembering there, but because obviously we've done it with signs, we have definitions in that section, so.
I think it's logical that we would have a definition.
yeah, I mean, if, like.
I don't disagree, but
Shouldn't be the same definitions or overlapping or contradictory, so I have to look at them. But as
that
long as
becomes the
it's-
question is if you put a definition here.
Now we're gonna have to go.
We're gonna have
the
to
rest
go
of the
look at all the rest of the
100%.
definitions to
Yeah,
make sure
oh,
that
yeah.
we're not creating
100%. We're gonna have to look at the
I think that
definitions.
was-
It's 38 now.
all of 38, because this is part of 38, so if somewhere in 38, there's a definition already,
Right,
and we don't think about it, we've now created a conflict.
Right.
I think that was part of what we were, I think that was
And or redundant language.
redundant language. I
Yeah.
think that was part of the conversation we were having at the time was maybe we didn't want to open up that can of worms and go looking at all. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but it's just, I think that was the issue with it.
Well, I don't think we've addressed any of these definitions.
I think the one that is internally illuminated is defined, or it hasn't been defined yet, but
It
we'll
will be.
talk about it in the sign thing. So that's the only one that might have a duplicate.
What is, Marty, can you give me some? I know that we put definitions in the sign portion, because there was specific language that was immediately pertinent to
Mhm.
that piece of that chapter.
It was
I mean, this
already
is a
existing.
full chapter.
Yes, that it was already existing
Right.
in the language, we added definitions.
Right.
We just modified what was there.
Yeah, we added additional
So
definitions to an existing section.
the only caveat, or the thing that we're kind of butting our heads against here is this, right, the top of your note says for the purpose of this chapter.
Yeah, and.
And it's entirely chapter 38, so I'm a little concerned now if we do this.
Can't use that language.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what to call it.
Yep.
Maybe it's just of the section.
Do we think it's necessary now, though, to go make sure to look at the definitions in their entirety that are already in chapter 38 and not, so that we can make sure we don't create redundant language or conflicts if we adopt additional definitions for just this section?
Well, if it says these apply only to this section, it shouldn't be a problem.
I believe it will be. I don't want to create the
Give it
redundant language.
human nature. If
Yes.
if someone finds it.
If someone sees it in
Ordinance,
this
then
section, they're gonna say,
say-
oh, it must apply to,
Yeah, there's.
so I just want to
Gotcha.
avoid
Yeah.
the
Caroline
creation
said,
of it
always
to
think
begin
of
with.
first.
We do add
Prepare
this,
for it. I mean,
these definitions should probably go into the back section,
Yes, into the definition section.
into the definition section, not into the lighting
Yep.
portion of the ordinance. Just like we did with the commercial wind
Yep.
and all of that. I think that these definitions should be included in the actual definitions, not into. the
Of
section.
chapter 38.
So does that then require, and this is the procedural issue here. So we voted on the sign piece, the town accepted that. They're going to get a vote on lighting. Does that then require yet another vote on, we're adding these definitions to, well, I'm trying to figure out how this all, what is the procedure for this? So how many votes are we
So
creating?
We would be
We could do it
amending
as an
the
amendment.
language of 38.
Yep.
Yeah,
That section. And then probably we could put and ancillary
definition.
definition.
Yeah.
okay.
Rather than,
Make two separate.
That's what that was my concern, is we're gonna end up
I have to
with,
look back at how we phrased, the alternative energy.
I don't remember how we did.
Well, I had to look at the question, but it was one question.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what was my concern. I don't want to end up people having to vote
We don't
on.
have, we wouldn't have to have two separate questions.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
So, having said all of that. Do we want to make a motion to include the definitions in the definitions of chapter 38? Accepting, of course, any redundant language. Or some variation of that, or do we want to go through the definitions that are?
Would it behoove us to have those definitions sent to us so we could then go through and have a discussion at the next meeting, and we would then say, I didn't see any conflict, and just be done with it? I
You
mean,
can already see one that's a conflict,
Mhm.
it's the tower one, because that's gonna be a conflict with the wind turbines.
right.
Yep.
But I'm just saying that would be.
When I
that's
did a quick look through, I thought a couple of them kind of popped out at me, which is what sent me down the path of the conversation.
Well,
Okay, so how about for the purpose of this section, We all agree definitions are a great idea.
Mhm.
Yes.
We all agree that the best location for it is in the definitions of the entire chapter.
Yes.
So that it applies across the chapter and not just the section.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
fantastic. So how about we request that we get emailed that section, the definition section, before the next meeting, so that we have time to review both the list that was provided,
And
that section, make sure we come back with any questions, comments, remove any redundancies
So we're gonna compare this with.
to the
Already
existing definitions in chapter 38.
So where would the festoon and string light definition go then, if
It's-
not here?
Actually should be in here, I think, I don't know, somehow, maybe I didn't.
we could add that in at that time, I'm saying.
Email
I think I have it on the document I
somewhere, okay.
out of this,
Well,
but
but one,
maybe I didn't.
maybe
switch
it was
over.
a 2-page, was it a double-sided thing?
Yeah, I know I put it in my original document, I might not have saved the document correctly or whatever.
Okay.
I have it, I do have that.
Well, I would be,
Because I think
I will do that.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
so we can see them.
You
all.
get her everything, she'll get us everything, including the definitions in 38.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Perfect,
Okay.
Better.
okay. So that puts this particular, because we have voted on everything else in this.
Yeah.
So 38.8.2 lighting appears to be complete.
With the exception of definition.
Yeah.
Well, and definitions, those going in 38.
Right.
So 38.8.2 lighting
He's done.
appears to be complete.
Yeah,
Are we comfortable with that opinion, and do we want to make a motion to send it to legal?
Oh, you can send it to legal.
I would move we send it to legal.
Motion by Scott. Second by Val.
Yep.
Is that it? To send 38.8.2 lighting as amended forward to legal.
Yes.
So now we're discussing.
Yes.
Let's have a discussion first. So all these, all this writing in green are things that we've already
Approved.
discussed and approved.
Correct.
And been over, okay.
It's just she puts it in there in green so we know what we added.
Yep,
So it's,
Compared to what was there before.
Yeah.
okay, so we've all
Yeah.
reviewed that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
And when we get that email, Marty, will it have the two documents to compare? Or are you, what are you planning to send to us?
Oops, I'm so sorry. Hold on. We're on a different,
Oh,
the
oh,
email we
sorry.
requested from her was definitions. If
Right.
there's something else, we can certainly ask for that.
But what-
Right now, there's a motion on the table. Scott made a motion to send 38.8.2 lighting as amended forward to legal.
Yes.
It was seconded by Val. Carolyn was asking questions just to clarify if all the green language was what we had approved has been voted on. Red language, there was only that existing that has been taken care of tonight. All those in favor of this motion that's on the table?
Sending to legal.
Mhm. That is unanimous.
Send it to legal. Get it
Okay.
Off our plate.
That takes care of that, because we understand that definitions is now going into chapter 38 definitions, and we can make a motion and do whatever we've got to with that separately from what all the work
Right.
we've already done on this.
True.
We
So
don't,
that puts this to bed.
we don't want to hold this.
Now,
because
Carolyn, were you asking for additional information?
I was asking Marty what she was planning to send us. Are you planning to send us the definition
So I'm planning to send you the section of definitions from 38,
that was already approved recently?
already, that is
Existing.
in chapter
Yes.
38,
Existing
Okay.
language.
in the definitions section of 38.
Yes.
And then I'll be sending you the definition for festoon lighting, whatever it is that.
And we'll have the.
Yeah, and we'll have those
ones
three
that we
documents.
can
Three
look
documents
at.
that we'll look at
And those will be in our package for next week.
or email.
Or whenever.
No,
Email.
I'll be emailing them, though I will have a printed document in the
Okay.
package.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And I can actually print the definitions if you prefer to pick them up, if you're more of a paper person or an email person, it's up to you.
I can do
I'm just gonna
Depends
look
on
at the
how long
electronic
they-
copy online.
I
I'll
was-
print it, my emails.
Just, if I can make one observation, when we were doing the lighting one, you had mentioned the charging stations.
Yes.
And so I was curious, I drove by, whatever that plate,
I
the
don't-
hideaway.
Yeah,
It's not the stations themselves that give off the light, it's the light they have illuminating, and that's, cause I went out,
You know, they've lit the.
they've got a lamp. And
Okay.
everything is directed down,
right.
but it is quite bright, but it's not the charging station itself, that's got a very dim screen, cause I was curious, like, I'm gonna go. So when I went by, we looked at it, it's like, oh, no, it's really not the station, it is the light itself.
It is all going
And the
down.
light is all going down, and
Oh, it's, so do you think that amount of light going down is exceeding what we have proposed?
We didn't,
Well, my question is, what if it was?
well, you can just change a bulb. That's not a
No,
big
but
deal.
we.
No,
don't
but,
have a right to-
no, well, we could say next time you change the bulb.
Right.
Maybe you
But I
should go
think
down. and
someone who's
whatever.
putting in, this is just me personally, EV charging stations, they're concerned about those types of things.
Say that.
And I think it would be, if you just approach them in a nice way, I suspect most people say, oh, yeah, okay, no big deal. But I did want to look at it, it wasn't, wasn't the actual charging station, because I wanted to see how much light the screens were giving off. And they're not, the screens are but it was just that area. Is it overkill for range? I don't know, I mean, maybe who knows, but it,
I mean, this new thing that we're talking about sending to legal has a 5,000 lumen per acre,
Yeah.
yeah,
which it probably is nowhere near.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
that's a lot of
The
light.
thing is, it's a full cutoff light, meaning.
is, everything goes down,
And, anything over 1,000 lumens needs to be shielded, which that is.
right,
Full cutoff. So it doesn't go
violating,
against the
yeah.
ordinance. It is a little brighter, I think, than it needs to be, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point,
Put a dimmer.
ask them if they can dim it. And,
I know, I just wondered because we talked about it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the displays themselves, and that comes in because we're now gonna be talking about internally illuminated, and so I was concerned, are we gonna create another piece that's gonna be an issue?
no, no.
But I don't think we are.
Okay.
So, so that I understand the process, when we get this ready to send to the voters of Rangeley, we will have several questions for them to vote on, not just one blanket, do you approve of this lighting? It will be approve of the definitions being,
No.
It's
I thought according to you last time, you had said there would be more than one question that would be.
So based on what we're working on, there will be more than one question. There's going to be one for the lighting
And maybe one for sign.
and then one for sign.
but each question is a yay or nay.
But
Right.
yeah, so because we've been working on them separately, there will be, do you approve the 38? Wait, two.
38 point,
The lighting.
3.3.3.
No, the 38.82 will be a question.
Yeah.
And these, and the definitions, that will be one question. Do you approve this?
38 point
the
whatever.
amendment to the signs,
And the-
3810
This
will be a separate question.
Yeah.
So if you were a voter that felt, well, yes, keeping the dark sky is a good idea, keeping all of these things down is certainly a reasonable idea. But as we move forward and we address internally illuminated signs, will that be brought into that question, that topic?
As we
As
work
one-
on it, it's our responsibility to make sure that we don't create something in conflict with what we worked on for lighting.
Right.
Yeah,
We're gonna wanna make sure that whatever we come up with, sorry, for internally illuminated signs, doesn't conflict with the lighting that we just came up with.
Right.
So, but yes, but if
But it will
someone,
stand as two separate questions.
So one could get passed and one could get rejected. That could happen.
but we're not gonna break out internally lit, which is really a big topic.
We did.
We did.
That's what this new thing
Exactly what we
is.
did.
We've already passed.
We got
the whole-
3810 signs approved
Right, that's.
The old
as we amended it. We changed all that language. We did all the legwork for what, 8 months?
Yeah.
As
To
it-
get internally consistent.
as it stands now, internally illuminated are not allowed in our community.
Right now, they are not
If
allowed.
Internally illuminated gets voted down. Nothing's gonna change.
Nothing will change.
In order to have those, it has to get passed, and we're trying to say, if it's passed, this is what it will look like. So we're asking the voters,
It will be in
Okay.
full compliance with the
This
lighting
is what
we just
we-
did.
This is what we want you to look at, and they can say yes or no, and if they say no, then we say, okay, we're just not having
No
those
internal
signs,
illumination.
that continues with the status quo.
Yeah.
But it won't conflict with, if they say yes to 10 and no to 8, or, vice versa, everything is standalone, it's not going to create although if they said yes to one and no to the other, it would be a problem, but anyway, that's how it works, so.
Did that clear any of that up?
Not entirely, but that's all right. I'll figure it
Okay.
out as we move along.
Okay. So given that we are 10 minutes out from our usual ending time, I'm gonna take a wild guess. We don't even want to dive into
No.
internally illuminated signs right now.
But we can begin fresh next time.
Exactly. So we will hold off on internally illuminated. We don't have any new business. Next meeting, possible dates. We need, what's the 15th look like for
I
everybody?
think that's fine.
Uh,
I think it's fine. 15th. Yes,
Works.
good.
So just so I'm clear, the next meeting will be internally illuminated signs.
No,
We're gonna approve.
next meeting will be definitions.
Oh.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
well.
Hopefully that will be.
Hopefully
because
that'll
we'll all
go
get
quick
it
and then we'll
together.
get into internal
Then we
illumination.
can jump into
Hopefully.
internally.
Hopefully we will get into that.
The plan is to get into it, yes.
You haven't gotten rid of me yet.
No, no.
And it's funny how this all, actually, that was the thing that was prompting all this, was the internal illuminated signs, and then it jumped into other things, and it's like, wow,
Good.
we started with those back in,
So I heard a consensus that October 15th sounds great for everybody.
yeah.
Perfect. Guess what time it is? Somebody
Motion
give it to me.
adjourned.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Val. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you so much. Thank you, Linda, for all the hard work on this.
Well, thank you for all your.
We had an issue.
Yeah, thank you for just coming. It's a lot of work to be here all the